Masculine Man by Zach Rody. That's me. Now, before we start, there are a couple of things that will help you get the most out of our time together. So first, make sure your sound is turned on, and second, have a piece of paper and pen handy. What I'm about to share with you will change the way you think about how to solve the problems in your love life. Have you ever noticed that some women can attract a masculine man without controlling or needing to do anything? Their vulnerability inspires the man to want to cherish them and give them the world. These women exude a beautiful radiance that turns the heads of all the men in the room without depending on their looks. Have you ever dreamt of a relationship where your man truly cherishes you and is devoted to you? You fully trust him to handle everything, and you can totally let go. And you can fully feel his care even when you express negative feelings. This may sound like a dream, but this is the reality for women in a healthy, polarized relationship. By that I mean one where the man is stepping up, taking charge, and leading because he cares about the woman, and the woman is letting go, opening up, and receiving her man's care. Imagine the perfect traditional date where the man plans everything for you. He creates this amazing evening, this wonderful experience for you, because he's figuring you out what you need, what makes you happy, and then giving that to you as a gift. That's what a polarized relationship can be, except instead of it just happening for one date, it's your entire lives together. And this is what I coach women into creating for themselves, by attracting that kind of man who wants to give you that experience, and then inspiring that man into giving that to you every single day. This is for you if you feel stuck in your love life and can't seem to turn it around. You're only attracting weak men. And when you do attract a man that you really like, you end up pushing him away, or he isn't interested in long-term commitment. So my promise to you is that I will show you our foolproof process that will help you attract a man who is devoted to cherishing you in your dream relationship. With this, your feminine radiance will attract a devotional, masculine man's attention. You will inspire this man to claim you and lead you into a healthy, long-term, polarized relationship. And you will activate this man's instinct to take care of you, provide for you, and even make boundaries for himself to protect you and make you feel as special as you are to him. I'm going to ask you a few important questions and take a moment to see if you relate. Are there days when you want to delete the dating apps? Have there been times where it feels like men only want sex? Does it ever seem like men lose interest in you for no reason? Are there days you feel overwhelmed trying to figure out the dating game? Do you worry that maybe there is something that you are doing wrong? Have there been times when you felt like giving up in frustration? If so, it's not your fault. The real problem is that the same unconscious behaviors that protected you in childhood are now pushing masculine men away. Think about it. Were your parents emotionally centered and capable of unconditional love and provided space for you to express all of your feelings, problems, and needs? Probably not. And so in order to not be emotionally or physically abandoned by your flawed parents, you developed unconscious control patterns. Because you never felt safe to fully express your feelings, you learned to hide them in some way. You developed control patterns, and these control patterns are you trying to get an outcome from a man because you don't have that trust and that faith that you'll just be taken care of if you let go of control and share all of your feelings vulnerably. And right now I'm going to go through each of those control patterns. The first control pattern is leading. That can be very overt, like telling a man what to do, but it can often be much more subtle, like making suggestions for how he can do things better or what he should be doing with his leadership. The second control pattern is resisting. That can be telling a man no, setting boundaries with him. It can be judging his leadership and basically creating a wall. It can be arguing with him. This control pattern doesn't tend to show up with many women really early on in the dating process, but it does tend to show up later. And just to be clear, when I'm talking about setting boundaries, I'm not saying it's wrong for a woman to set boundaries. I'm saying that when a woman does set boundaries, it tends to be because she's not sharing her feelings vulnerably. Setting boundaries is a cover for her vulnerability that she is afraid to share. When a woman lets go of all of her control patterns, she doesn't need to set boundaries with a man because she's inspiring a man to set all of those boundaries for himself. The third control pattern is hiding your heart. So that means you're feeling certain feelings. You're feeling some anger or some shame or some sadness or some anxiety. And instead of wearing your heart on your sleeve, you're just playing it cool. You're pretending that you're not really emotionally affected, that you're not as sensitive as you truly are. That's a control pattern to get him to perceive you in a certain way. The fourth control pattern is judging and questioning. So instead of sharing the vulnerable feelings, you're feeling something negative, usually anxiety, sometimes some anger or irritation or sadness. Instead of sharing that, you go into judgments or you go into questioning him about his behavior. Start asking all of these questions, and it's fueled by these negative feelings. That's trying to control an outcome, trying to understand him, but not from a place of true, genuine curiosity. It's coming from a place of subtle control. The fifth control pattern is fawning and complying. So a man wants to do something, he's got a certain need or a certain desire, and he's trying to get you to do it. And instead of vulnerably sharing your heart, you're afraid that he might reject you in some kind of way. So you go along with what he wants, even though it doesn't really feel good for you. Even though you're subtly dishonoring yourself, you're dishonoring your heart. You don't want to be abandoned. And so you comply, you follow his leadership, but not in a self-honoring way. You do it in a way that ultimately hurts you. The sixth control pattern is approval seeking. So it's people pleasing. You're trying to get his approval. You're trying to please him, to make him happy in some way so that he sees you in a more positive light, so that he likes you more. And that doesn't actually work, but that's a control pattern that we've picked up from childhood. That could mean buying him gifts, that could be doing nice things for him, giving him compliments, or it could just be anything that's under the umbrella of being the good girl to get his approval. Or it could be trying to be the bad girl in some way, right? If that's what you perceive he wants. So you're not being who you truly are, you're putting on a mask for his approval. The seventh control pattern is inhibiting yourself. So you're not fully free in your energy, not your positive energy and not your negative energy either. You're shutting yourself down, you're containing yourself, you're controlling your emotional expression because you believe that those feelings, that energy is a burden in some kind of way, that a man wouldn't like that. So you shut yourself down. And then the final control pattern is supporting. You might have also heard of the term mothering. So a man doesn't actually need a woman's support in that kind of way. And the more that you try to help him solve his problems, make his life easier when he didn't actually tell you to do anything, the more that you are trying to control and be of value, be of service so that you can feel worthy of him in some way. And again, it's to control, it's to avoid abandonment. All of these unconscious control patterns are you trying to force an outcome and are therefore masculine. Now, when you were a child, this served a purpose. It protected you from abandonment. But now you've carried these control patterns into adulthood, and this masculine energy will repel a masculine man because his greatest need isn't being met. A masculine man's greatest need is to be revered by a woman who has let go of all control. This can be hard for many women to understand because your need as a woman is to be cherished, it's to be taken care of, it is to be led with love and strength and integrity. A masculine man doesn't need any of that. He needs to be respected. He needs to be received. He needs to be trusted. And for a woman to be able to give him that, she needs to be able to let go of all of her control patterns. She needs to stop supporting him. She needs to stop judging, blaming, leading, questioning him, resisting his leadership. And she needs to stop complying to undevoted leadership. She needs to stop staying silent. She needs to stop inhibiting herself, because it's not enough that a man gets the respect, the reverence that he needs from a woman. He needs that respect from a woman who also knows how to respect herself. And so if you're following undevoted leadership, if you're hiding your heart, if you're hiding your feelings, if you're hiding your needs, if you're approval seeking, people pleasing, wearing a mask, not being who you really are, then you're disrespecting yourself. And then your respect to him will mean very little. So a man's greatest need is to be respected, it's to be revered, but specifically by a woman who knows how to respect herself, but in a feminine way, which means letting go of all the control, opening up, being vulnerable, sharing her heart. When you learn how to meet a man's greatest need, it becomes easy for you to attract a masculine man. You'll be able to attract many masculine men, and not just attract them, but inspire them to want to take care of you and to choose you as their woman. You'll be living in abundance of masculine men who want to choose you. But if you don't learn how to meet a man's greatest need and nothing changes, then you'll continue to just have more situationships and short-term flings and men who ghost you or don't continue leading towards commitment. The worst case scenario is that you give up and never receive the dream relationship with a loving, devotional masculine man that you deserve. The good news is that I figured out a groundbreaking way to solve this problem, and I'll walk you through it in this training. The key to your success is this transformative 3-step system that will help you heal your emotional wounds and help you attract a devotional masculine man who cherishes you. Ina went from single and lonely to fully embodying her feminine instincts in 8 months using our methods. She attracted and married her dream man. Cassie joined my academy and within 3 months met a masculine man that she fell in love with and married 3 months later. He was inspired by her and led her into marriage and the relationship of her dreams. Kelly was newly divorced when she discovered my process. After practicing for 1 year, she is now in the best relationship of her life. With this, you're always clear on where you stand with him because he's setting definite plans and communicating transparently. You will always feel safe to share your needs and feelings because he listens intently and responds with care and encouragement. And he will put in extra effort to make you feel special. He's chivalrous, thoughtful, and will give you compliments. The best part of this is that you don't have to be a young supermodel for this to work. In fact, many of the women in our academy program are in their 50s and 60s. You also don't have to resort to manipulation or tricks. This is a deeper solution that facilitates you embodying your instinctual femininity. And finally, you don't have to heal all of your wounds. You will heal many of your wounds through this process, but this is about learning how to be okay being imperfect and sharing those imperfections with a man in a way where he still sees you as absolutely beautiful. And the only reason I can share this with you today is because I've dated hundreds of women before I met my wife and married her, and I discovered through this dating process exactly what pushes a man away or inspires him to choose and cherish a woman. Hello, I am Zach Rohde. I'm best known for helping men and women create their dream relationship. I've written 5 books on relationship polarity. I have a Facebook group of 25,000 people, and I have hundreds of men and women in my flagship program, the Relationship of Your Dreams Academy. So back to my story. I've dated hundreds of women, but I've never felt inspired to commit to any of them. I considered spending the next few decades remaining a man whore because there was nobody I wanted to be exclusive with. In fact, I didn't even understand why men would choose to be exclusive with a woman unless he had no other option. Until, of course, I met the woman who would later become my wife. That's when everything changed forever. Immediately I knew that something was very different. I wanted to spend lots of time with her. I felt compelled to text her back right away. I found myself imagining living my life with her, and we started talking about having kids. For the first time, I actually saw a real future with somebody. By the second date, I didn't want to date anyone else. They'd all be boring by comparison. And by the 4th date, I gave my soon-to-be wife a promise ring, just because I thought it would be cute and fun to put a huge smile on her face, and for her to know just how serious I was about her. This was the complete opposite of what I had experienced with so many women before my wife. So the question is, why? What made her so different? In a few minutes, I'm going to explain why my wife was so different and inspired me like no other woman ever had, and how this applies to you. But before I do, imagine for a moment how relaxed you would feel when you have a competent man who is taking charge and considering all of your needs. Imagine how connected you would feel when you have that emotionally centered man who fully sees you, hears you, and stays present with you. And imagine how amazing you would feel when you have that devoted man who is obsessed with growing into his full potential for you and for the relationship. As I've said earlier, the real reason why you're not getting any closer to such a dream relationship is because you are unconsciously pushing masculine men away with your ingrained behaviors. And now I'm going to share the 3 discoveries that I've made over the years about these unconscious control patterns. The first discovery is that men cannot feel your self-worth because you hide your needs and feelings. Instead of sharing what's coming up for you, you stay silent or hide your heart behind judgments and questions. You're afraid that your needs and feelings are a burden. You're afraid of being judged as needy or weak or too much or too emotional. You don't want to rock the boat, so you go along to get along. You comply instead of receiving his leadership, even when it doesn't feel good. Ultimately, you aren't following in a way that truly honors your heart and demonstrates how worthy you are as a woman. So a masculine man isn't going to feel that real deep connection. His instinct is not going to be activated. He may still want sex or a short-term fling, but he won't claim you. This, by the way, is what inspired me to commit to my wife. It was because I could feel her self-worth. She wasn't perfectly polarized in her communication during dating, but still, her communicating her needs and feelings simultaneously communicated that she was in touch with her self-worth, and that turned me on in a profound way. Discovery number 2 is that masculine men will be instinctually activated to take care of you when you learn to communicate your desires and problems vulnerably. The easiest way to do this is by learning feminine communication. When you do this, he will want to protect, provide for, and take care of you. He will create boundaries for himself to protect and honor your heart. Imagine no longer having to feel like you are the one that needs to set boundaries. This is a natural result of you communicating your self-worth in a respectful way, because you're sharing your needs and feelings vulnerably, not out of entitlement, not out of criticism or judgment, instead just openly revealing what is in your heart. This becomes a self-reinforcing positive feedback loop, which I've described in my book, Inspire His Devotion. The more a woman communicates her needs, the more she gets those needs met. The more she gets those needs met, the more that she realizes she is worthy of having those needs met. The more she realizes she is worthy, the more worthy she feels. The more worthy she feels, the more her man is inspired to anticipate her needs without her saying anything at all. If this all sounds good, well, it gets even better. Because discovery number 3 that I've learned after years of doing this work with women is that the process of embodying your feminine energy facilitates the healing of your emotional wounds. You will learn from this work how to love all of the parts of you that you are not fully loving and accepting. Embodying your feminine energy is a healing process which will help make you feel whole. And this is the hidden gem in this work. This is about so much more than a dream relationship with a man. This is about your dream relationship with yourself. You will stop judging yourself and start joyfully and unapologetically being yourself. Our Academy member TC describes the transformation that this work can facilitate here. I feel so much more free. I feel like I can be myself. I feel radiant. I feel feminine. I'm so much more connected to my body and my heart. My heart is no longer covered. There are no more shells. I don't feel hard anymore. Remember the slide I showed you earlier? Now I'm going to show you the 3-step system that will help you attract your dream man. It's called the Polarity process. Sit back and I'm going to walk you through the steps. The first step is to feel. This is where we help you fully connect with your emotions so that you will be connected with what is going on in your heart in order to share that with the man you are dating, which, as I've made clear, will help him feel your self-worth, which will inspire him to pursue you. The next step is to learn. This is where we teach women feminine communication. Feminine communication is the way that you communicate your needs and feelings in a vulnerable, respectful way that activates a man's instincts to fully cherish you. And this is very important because if you communicate your needs and feelings in the wrong way, it will repel a man instead of inspire him into taking care of you. The final step is to train. This is where we practice this new language of feminine communication outside of dating itself. Women practice communicating vulnerably in the safe container that is our academy. It's kind of like a gym for practicing your femininity, so that during game day, in actual dating, you will effortlessly be able to flow in your feminine energy. Inside our academy, devoted coaches will support you to safely go through the Polarity process by giving you reassurance, loving leadership, encouragement, and clarity. And a big reason why women get such mind-blowing results from us is that they're being coached by men instead of women. We know exactly what attracts and inspires a man because we are men, and we know how to listen to our masculine instinct. Meet Beth. Beth came from a 15-year marriage with her ex, the father of her children. She had several short-term relationships that resulted in dramatic breakups and had given up on marriage. She had done several other online programs that helped, but were not the answer. The Polarity process helped her realize her self-worth and find a husband who she describes as the best man I have ever met. Beth said, I joined the academy desperate for change and actively participated. I learned how to let my feelings guide me, how to communicate them with respect, and how to honor myself while respecting men. My now husband is the best man I have ever met. He loves me, provides for me, protects me, leads me with love, and is my best friend. It was because I could slow down and communicate my feelings that let him provide for me in ways my heart needed. I feel so very, very grateful. Now meet Claire. Claire was a young single woman when she joined the academy. She struggled with a lack of belief in her worthiness, which left her with shame and guilt when men would give things to her. She had tried to fix herself using tons of relationship advice videos on YouTube with no success. The Polarity process helped her find compassion for herself, and she attracted a man whom she's now been with for the last 8 months. Claire said, I took Zach's advice to heart and gave myself over to cleaning up my side of the street as best I could. Being in the academy has increased my faith in men. It's helped me reach a deeper level of compassion and care for my own heart and its needs. I am not triggering away in my relationship. I've been reaching levels of vulnerability that I didn't know I was capable of in the face of so much fear. And finally, let's talk about Ina. Ina had many options in dating, but no capacity for connection. She was a self-identified megalomaniac, power tripper with a huge ego. She was seeking connection and had a desire to learn, which led her to my work and the Polarity process. A masculine man found her, married her, and she says that she is now in the relationship of her dreams. Ina said, Zach placed names to my problems. He placed solutions to my problems. He is different. He's exact, he's direct, and he helps heal wounds. I practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and kept achieving actual results thanks to Zach and his team of experts. I feel happy and I feel ease in my own marriage 99.9% of my days. You're here because you're committed to finding a masculine man who is devoted to creating the relationship of your dreams. And if you're anything like me, you put a high value on your time. And you probably enjoyed success in other areas of your life by focusing on things that get you results. You now know that you have unconscious behaviors that are repelling masculine men. And I've shown you our tried and true process for attracting a masculine man instead. We've also seen that the old ways of doing things simply doesn't work. That the best way forward is to feel your feelings, learn feminine communication, and practice the new language over and over and over again. Because it's proven to give women just like you the results they want. You can do this. We can do this together. Just imagine how great it will feel when you no longer have to struggle with men suddenly losing interest or not leading towards commitment. And to experience the joy you feel when your dream man is cherishing you in a devoted relationship. And if you'd like me to help you do this, I'd love to show you how good your love life could be. Because there is one thing I know for sure. Doing this alone isn't easy. You could try, but you'll probably waste a lot of time and money and experience needless frustration. It would be like trying to drive across the country without a GPS or any signs on the road to tell you where to go. Here's why. After working with hundreds of women, I've identified many blind spots and obstacles that prevent them from making progress. Feminine communication is an entirely new language, and knowing how to communicate in a self-honoring and respectful way in different situations is very challenging. Women will also misapply this work and they'll wear a mask. They'll wear a femininity costume using the language, but with the wrong energy. So they're still leading. They're still trying to get an outcome. They're still stuck in the control pattern rather than truly letting go and being the feminine woman that they are. And finally, women get too scared and continue to avoid. They get triggered and they unconsciously shift into their unhealthy control patterns and stay stuck. So here's what successful people do. They figure out what they want. Then they identify why they want it. And finally, they ask who, not how. I will explain. If you had a leak in your roof, would you figure out how to fix it? If you did, that would likely involve you going to Home Depot, buying some shingles, climbing up onto the roof of your house with little idea of what you're doing, and somehow fix your roof. No sane person would do that, unless of course you love do-it-yourself work and are super handy around the house. I'm not. This type of thinking really holds people back in life because they try to do everything themselves. Better health, better fitness, better relationships, all to save a few bucks. And although it may eventually happen, the road is filled with mistakes, lost time, tons of frustration, and eventually a lot of money down the drain. And money is cheap. Time, on the other hand, is expensive, and you can't get it back. Successful single women don't waste their time trying to figure out things on their own. They look for an expert who will lead them to the results that they want and hire them. So here's exactly how I can help you. My team and I have set aside some time on our calendar to speak with you personally, absolutely free, about how you can apply these strategies right away and start getting results. On this free polarity assessment call, we'll do 3 things. First, we'll look at what you've already tried to solve this problem and identify how you want things to be different in the future. Second, and most importantly, we'll uncover the specific challenges that have held you back in the past. In most cases, people are not clear on these, and part of the role as a coach is to help you see them. Third, once we know where you've been, what's holding you back, and where you want to go, then we'll put together a game plan to help you reach your desired goals. And if you'd like to get there faster and without frustration, then we can talk about what it would look like to work together. Remember the case studies I showed you earlier? It all started with this polarity assessment call. So if you want to effortlessly attract a masculine man who is right for you, if you want to be pursued by that man where he is always moving things forward and letting you know where you stand, and if you want that man to choose to be committed to you and only you, then take my hand and I'll show you how good your life could be. Here's why I'm offering this call for free. I know that our talk is going to be so helpful for you and pinpoint exactly what is going on and show you the solution to solve it, that there's a good chance that you're going to want to hire us to help you go through the polarity process, make all of these shifts so that you can attract that masculine man and create the relationship of your dreams. But before we go any further, you need to know that I can't help everyone. Based on the hundreds of women that I have helped, I know that there are certain types of women who will get results and those who won't. And the last thing I want to do is waste your time if you're not the type of person who will see results. This is not for you if getting your dream man and experiencing your dream relationship isn't your number one priority right now. It's not for you if you aren't willing to take 100% responsibility for your side of the street and not make excuses and not stay stuck in blame stories. And it's not for you if you are unwilling or unable to invest in your love life. Whereas this is for you if you are someone who is fully committed to taking control of your love life. And if this is a priority for you now, not a few weeks from now, not next year, not 10 years from now, right now. And finally, if you want a traditional relationship where a man leads and takes care of you. That's what we're helping you get. We're showing you how to attract a masculine man who wants to lead, who wants to be in charge. You need to want that too. So if you meet these criteria, then there's no reason you can't see results just like Beth, Claire, Ina, and so many of my other women clients did. So here's what to do next. Schedule a call with us by simply clicking the link below this video. There you'll be able to grab a time to chat. Once your time has been selected, you'll then see a form with a few questions I'd like you to answer so we have a better idea of where you're at and where you want to go. That way, our call together is as productive as possible. So if you want to, uncover what's really been keeping you from the man of your dreams. Get a customized plan to attract and inspire that man. See if working together would make the most sense for you to get the help you need. Then this is for you. So just to be clear, my goal is not to pressure you or sell you on anything that isn't right for you. My goal is to act as a custodian to help you do what's best for your situation. Time is of the essence. You now have 2 choices. You can continue doing what you've always done, and sadly, you'll likely get the same results that you've been getting. That means attracting the same types of men you've been attracting and attracting the same types of behaviors from those men that you've already been getting. Or you can jump on a call with us and put together a winning game plan that will set you up for your love life success so that you can create the relationship of your dreams. You've watched this entire training. You want the relationship of your dreams, and you know you're simply not getting the results you want on your own. So take advantage of this opportunity now. Simply click the link below and let's do this together.